Building a Relationship with a Student in the Minority by Sammy Bishop. To start, I will be giving an overview of my identity. I am a cisgender female, which means I was assigned a female at birth and still identify as female. I am also heterosexual, and I am white. My socioeconomic status is working class. I am considered a young adult who is able-bodied. I don't identify with any religion, and since I have ADHD, I am also a person with a disability. I grew up in a town of about 20,000 people. My town was very diverse, and so were the schools I went to. My elementary school in particular had a large population of Somali and Hispanic students because many lived in the subsidized housing in the area. I became aware of my cultural and racial identity in second grade. My best friend was a Somali boy named Salman. One day, I asked why he always had a funny smell, and he said his family uses certain oils when they pray. I asked if that was why his skin was black, and asked if I used the oils if my skin would turn black too. He said no and explained his family came from Somalia, and everyone had black skin there. As a kid, I had the perspective of different skin tones being no different than different hair colors. In my case study, I will be using the name Katie to represent my child's name. When I first went to my placement site, I noticed right away the lack of racial diversity. Looking at the group, there were only 2 Black students and 2 Asian students that didn't come very often. Katie was one of the Black students I made my strongest connection with. Katie's identity is that she is female, and she is in kindergarten. She is able-bodied and does not have a disability that I am aware of. Katie's mom is Asian, and her dad is Black, so Katie identifies as both Asian and Black. I estimated that her family's socioeconomic status would be around lower middle or middle class. Both Katie and I are able-bodied females who differ in racial backgrounds and possibly socioeconomic status. My 2 connections to concepts and materials from this class will be described through 2 different situations. My first connection is to the Multicultural Book Awards and the video Ourselves, Our Classroom, and Our Families. One day at my placement site, Katie and a few of her friends were sitting by their backpacks during gym time. They had a couple of Princess Barbie books. I sat with them while they looked through the books and made up the words for the story. Everyone started picking their favorite Barbie princess characters, and Katie told me she wished there was one that had hair like hers. I said I wished they did too, and that I thought that she would make a gorgeous princess. They all began pretending they were princesses now and were laughing. I immediately connected this situation with the Multicultural Book Awards because of the lack of racial recognition in the Barbie princess books that I saw. I also connected it with the video. The video was about a first grade teacher and how she integrated cultural and racial representation into her classroom through curriculum and decorations such as posters. She also made differences a positive thing. I connected it to the video because it showed the cultural and racial representation that I believed was lacking at my placement site. I made a connection to the video Being Gay is the Norm and Being Straight is the Minority with my second situation. Again, I was sitting with Katie and her friends during gym time. They decided they wanted to play house and picked me to be the mommy. Katie got upset because she wanted to be the mommy. They were also trying to figure out who would be the daddy. So I said, how about both me and Katie are the mommies, and you guys can be the kids? They stopped for a minute with confused looks, but eventually decided that this was a good idea. This scenario is almost the same scenario that happened in the video with a different outcome. In the video, the girl suggests that her and the boy can be the mommy and the daddy, and because it was a reversed world, her friends saw this as disturbing and gross. I used the opportunities to suggest a minority idea, and I found it refreshing and uplifting that they didn't seem very fazed by my idea. Reflecting back, I found that building a relationship with Katie really opened my eyes more to the importance of cultural and racial representation in the classroom. I got to see firsthand how left out she felt when she didn't connect with any of the characters in her library books. My overall experience was very rewarding. I was able to build relationships with many of the kids. I also found it somewhat relaxing being there as just a person and not having my main identity being an authority figure to the kids. I was able to see the close-up relationships kids had with one another and how they interacted with each other. I believe that this will help me be able to put myself in their shoes easier. I am always grateful to have the opportunity to build relationships with children and gain experience in my field of study. Thank you.